If you have a dream, think Primus. Primus Radio. Express, exhibit, and explore.
Offering the sounds that shape the heart, making the turn inward towards beauty. We are Primus.
Good morning, how are we doing? Okay, it's another Friday and I'm so excited to be here. It's time for Reader's Crib, and of course my name is Adejoke Oyekan. I missed the program last week, not really missed, I had another engagement, a book engagement. Anything book in Ibadan in Nigeria, just call me, I will be there. So I was attending to a book launch that was unveiled last week, Friday, and that is the book by Ronke Giwa Onofua, and that book is Lulu Lens. That's the second published book by Ronke. Our first book is actually Lara's Lessons, a teenager's book, and the second one is Lulu Lens for children of ages 3 to 10. So it was really an interesting event, and we have the creme de la creme in Ibadan. We're in attendance, and of course we had book reviews, and we're talking about parenting and so on. So join me today for another interesting, intriguing episode, and it's children's time, as in children's holiday. They are in holiday already. It's summertime, and this time I will be discussing children's books since they are on holiday, and I will be bringing on children's authors and children who have also written books. So I'll be bringing them on this platform also. So thank you so much for joining me every Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. here on Primus Radio. And my guest today is Kanyinsola Balogun Kuku, and she has written a fantastic book titled The Boy Who Grew Backward. The Boy Who Grew Backwards. Kanyinsola Balogun Kuku. But before I get to that segment, as I normally do, I have 3 segments. The first segment, I talk about what has happened in the book industry, or what is happening, and the second segment, I read the book of the month, and I've been reading Blooming Rose by Mary Nweke since 1st of July, and I will continue today. So the talk segment is when I get to interview my author. So thank you, and welcome to today's program. All right. What happened during the week was a book launch, and also people talking about what children should read this holiday and reasons why we should read, and also allow our children to read this holiday. I know, yes, you want them to rest. They've been reading, they've been attending to academic works, assignments, and so on. You want them to rest this time. But then there are little literary books they can read this holiday. That's literary books that they can read and they will enjoy. You can read with them also, so don't leave them alone. You can create time with them to read. So there are lots of reasons why we need to read. Reading makes us think. It helps us to dream big. So imagine reading to your children and they are also reading. It makes them to think big, and also makes them to ask questions. If you're around children, they really likes asking lots and lots of questions. Then it helps increase emotional intelligence. If you want to know a smart child, that means the child is actually reading. Very smart children, they are actually reading. Then It helps them to learn about new people, about culture, what is happening in other culture, happening in the Igbo culture, happening in also in the Asian culture, and so Yoruba culture. So it helps them to also focus, helps their vocabulary also. Then also helps them to solve problems. It gives them a problem-solving skills and increases their reading speed. I remember when I was growing up, my parents will always say there are two different ways you can read. You can read to skim, just skim through, or you just skip. You skim, you're reading, but you're not reading in details. You're skimming, you're looking at it. Oh, this is it. So it helps you to skim. Then you can come back. Skimming helps you to have a little understanding of what you're reading, like going to the back to check the blurb of the book, what the book is about. So another thing is, it is fun. Reading is actually fun. When you love reading, it's actually fun, especially for children, when you give them illustrated books. So this time, take them to the bookshops. You can have illustrated books they can color. You can have books they can read, little with little content, but more of illustrations. You want them to get busy, get them illustrated books and tell them to narrate what they've read to you. Then they find inspiration in books. Then it helps their grammar. It also helps their grammar. So I've given you reasons why you need to engage them to read more this season. So for adults, if you're reading, teenagers, if you have a phone, you love reading, but you don't want to get you're busy, but sometimes you want to read. So you can read 20 minutes in a day. You can just take out 20 minutes. And there are apps you can read from. There are different apps. You need these apps designed for bookworms. They will help you find new books and connect with others and more. So the apps like Wattpad. On Wattpad, you can read books. If you are tired of reading paperback books, you should check out Wattpad. Wattpad is a new platform for the digital age where writers can directly connect with their readers. Wattpad brings community element to reading. So if you love reading ebooks, just check Wattpad, download Wattpad. You can also read on Libby. Libby is an app, lets you know what's going on in your local library. In your library, you can have a pocket library of Libby, like have what you need to read and create a library for yourself. So another one is Goodreads. You can have the app. It's a social networking app for book lovers, as one of the best sites to find what books to read next. You're looking for what book to read next, then add Google Reads to your list. Add Google Reads. You can download that for iOS or Android. Then Inkit. Inkit is also an app you should try. Inkit is an app specifically designed for reading fiction, and it consists largely of work from writers. It covers only few fiction genres like romance, fantasy, sci-fi, and similar. So it's a beautiful app that you would love to use. So I've mentioned four now. I've mentioned Wattpad. I've mentioned Google Reads. I've mentioned Libby. Yes, I've mentioned Libby. I've mentioned Inkit. So the last one I'll mention before I leave this segment is Marvin 3. Marvin 3 is the best third-party EPUB reader for iOS, looking for EPUB books to read. So if you are not satisfied with basic app books or Kindle, then take a look at Marvin 3. The app lets you customize the entire reading interface. So if you want to read and have bookmarks where you stopped reading, Marvin gives you that facility. So Marvin will open any book format you throw at it. It's so simple. This includes speed reading, with good fonts and so on. So try these apps. There are other apps also that I won't be able to mention. Maybe I'll mention them next week. But you should try out these apps for your as parents. You can download these apps for your teenagers so that they can engage themselves this season. Thank you so much, and I move to the book of the month. All right, on the book of the month, that is Blooming Rose by Mary Nweke. I started this July, and that's my book of the month, Blooming Rose. It's actually a fiction book. It's a story that captures the sojourn of a female Nigerian youth that is on a path to self-discovery, educational success, financial breakthrough, coupled with finding a life partner. So I've read about Nkechi in the church, where she was dreaming about a forthcoming program. Okay, so this is chapter 2. Nkechi's mom and dad had also stayed behind for their usual Catholic women organization and the Young Men's League meeting after the Holy Mass. Nkechi and Derek is Nkechi's brother, yes, had decided to stay in the car waiting for them. Nkechi decided to ignore Derek after the stress he had put her through looking for him. While Derek peeped eagerly at the screen, she was busy chatting with some friends via Facebook. Suddenly, Derek snatched her phone and dashed out of the car. "Give me back my phone, Derek. Why do you have to be so stubborn and annoying?" Nkechi screamed, running after Derek and trying to catch up with him. "I feel like exchanging him for an iPhone 14 Pro Max. At least I will have one less person to worry about, and I will have my peace." Okay. First, he goes wandering about, and now I have to battle for my phone, she thought. That was when she finally stopped, trying to catch her breath. Derek had been secretly planning how to get Nkechi's phone from her so he could play some video games. He was already bored from waiting for their parents and reading conversations that made no sense to him. Now he finally got it, and he would make sure his sister doesn't catch up with him. Nkechi gave up the chase and walked back to the car instead. "Nkechi, wait up," a familiar voice beckoned to her from the direction of the church hall. She turned to her to see a childhood crush walking briskly towards her. "Oh my God, it's Clinton Badmus." She screamed the words in her head. Suddenly, she became shy. She turned quickly to adjust her dress. Then she turned back to face him. Clinton Badmus was a guy that would be considered to be on the tall side. She was a calm, nerdy, playful, talented guy of 23, dark in complexion, with a chiseled face, nice dark soft hair and full lips. He wasn't one to be considered handsome, but he has a good aura of dominance. He was likable and very friendly with most people. He was dressed in a white satin shirt, paired with brown trousers and black shoes. He gave the dress a finish by adorning himself with a gold neck chain and gold wristwatch. "Hi, Clinton," she said childishly. "How are you, Nkechi?" He was staring at her. His eyes were dark brown, with an intense gaze that could see right through a woman. "I'm fine, and you?" She was shy. She felt excitement flowing through her veins. She could hardly maintain eye contact with him. "I'm quite all right," he said while regarding her appearance from head to toe. A half-lazy smile played on his lips for a moment. Then it broadened into a wider smile, enough to make any lady melt. "You look really nice. Your dress is gorgeous and suits you just fine," he said casually but sensationally. The dress looked nice. He wasn't just saying this to flatter her. The dress hugged her bosom down to her waistline like a second skin. The length of the dress goes down to her knees in a flare as broad as a wildflower. She was indeed lovely in that dress. Thanks for the compliment, Clayton. How may I help you? She regarded his appearance while pushing back the little strand of hair that had let loose on her face. She smiled nervously as she met her eyes for the first time during their conversation. Clayton was dressed in what Nigerians called a senator's wear. It could come in different colors and unique styles. This one was a royal blue color with gold cufflinks on each arm. Well, I sort of came to congratulate you on your book and commend your efforts towards making your upcoming program a successful and memorable one. He was nervous. He also had a crush on her since he was 7. They both shared the same feelings, but each person tried to keep it to themselves. Well, it was unknown to both that they shared the same feelings for each other. Oh, thanks, she said, smiling. I admire ladies with strong mind and drive towards humanity. You are indeed beautiful with brains. He was smiling warmly. He observed she was kind of shy and hadn't been able to look into his eyes. It could mean that she had fallen for him just as he had fallen for her, or it could just be her nature. She shook off the thoughts and resolved to find out himself. I really appreciate Sister Nkechi. Daddy said we have to leave. Derek shouted, interrupting her before she could finish her statement. Imagine it, having brothers like that can just come and interrupt your conversation. So I seriously hate this boy right now, she thought. I am on my way, Derek, she shouted back, feeling more annoyed and pained. God, Derek just blew my chance of having an actual conversation with my crush. Someone should give me a reason why I should not kill him when I get home. He is definitely dead. That small wizard is a butt pain, she thought. She felt a little crestfallen. She had always wanted to talk to Clinton. She was going to kill Derek now. Okay. All right. That is actually from the book Blooming Rose by Marion Weke. And Marion Weke is a student of Lautech, and she's also a writer, a natural writer, an author, and she loves exploring. So thank you. Join me next week. Is it next week? Next week? No. That's the end on this. I'm going to pick another book. Even though it's interesting, I'll think about that. Maybe I'll still continue. So welcome to another session. We're going to be going live very shortly with the guest of the day, and that is Koyinsola Balogun Kuku. The book conversation is actually The Boy Who Grew Backwards. Like, you want to know who the boy actually is, or you want to know why he grew backwards, the author is there. Don't go anywhere.
Primus Radio. Ojú ọ̀gbagadì láti fẹ̀fẹ̀ rẹ̀ hàn.
Ibadan. Join Purple Bloom Publishers for a 2-day event that will ignite your creativity and empower you to conquer the world of writing. Theme: Inspiration Unleashed, unveiling the path to authorship. Join renowned experts who will unravel the secret behind captivating plot, unforgettable characters, and the craft of impeccable prose. Date: Friday 25th and Saturday 26th August 2023. Time: 9 a.m. Venue: IACD Free Library, American Corner, beside Booksellers Limited, Jericho, Ibadan. Join Tade Ikpadiola, Ronke Giwa Onofua, Ayo Onyeku, Oluchi Onyekodo, and Chima Ogoke. The host Adejoke Oyekan, founder, Purple Bloom Publishers. Student 3,000 naira. Early bird 1,500 naira. Working class 7,000 naira. Early bird 5,000 naira. Early bird closes on the 6th August 2023. Contact 0812 641 5758. Don't miss it.
Bọ́ṣẹ́ o, ó dún yàtọ̀, ó ń gbé sí. Primus Media City, all in one in all.
All right, welcome back. And this segment is a Book of the Week segment, Book Conversation. And my author is already in the studio. Yeah, good morning, Koyinsola.
Good morning, Ma.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good to have you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And this book, The Boy Who Grew Backwards, the cover is actually looking like a movie, really.
Yes,
Adventurous, and it's actually, I feel like reading everything on
Wow.
but then, because I know people are inquisitive, they want to know who is actually the boy who grew backwards. Why didn't go through that process, and what happened while going through that process. But really, we want to sell the book. We don't want to just dish out the information like that. So just be asking you few questions here and there, so you can tell us about the book. So what inspired you to write this book?
Okay, so I've always been someone that loves imagination, creativity. So I thought, you know what, I want to write a book that has adventure in it and something that will awaken a kid's imagination. I also want something that can be a lesson to children and parents on siblings and children. So that's what inspired this book. So it's like a 2-in-1 kind of book.
2-in-1 kind of book. Okay,
Yes.
Let me quickly tell you about the author, Koyinsola Kuku. Is a visual artist. You can't expect something less than this. As a visual artist with expertise in abstract art. She has a BA in English Literature from Babcock University, an MA in Global Media and Communication from the University of Leicester. She has written a variety of unpublished works, including an anthology of poems. This is her first published book, and it is inspired by our 2 boys. We always have them as inspiration. So our hobbies includes painting, of course, traveling, and singing. Okay, so the book, in a moment of frustration, Jimmy makes a wish to be a baby again. Let me stop there. Jimmy makes a wish to be a baby again. So why did you decide to write this kind of book?
So I've read a lot of books, and for some reason I always get drawn to the adventurous ones or the ones with the supernatural or surrealism. So I thought, you know what, let me do something unconventional. Let me just write something that's Nigerian children book authors. I mean, they do write things like this, but I wanted to shed more light on the imaginative part of writing for kids.
So would you say writing helps you to express yourself, or express writing this book in particular?
Well, it expressed, because I did a lot of brainstorming while writing it. I was trying to think of something, because some of this imaginative stuff, they're not real. It doesn't
Yeah.
really happen. So I had to do a lot of brainstorming, and it just awakened the inner creativity in me.
Okay, waking up inner creativity.
Inner creativity, yes.
So you've written a book with a theme on love, sibling rivalry, taking responsibility, and overall parenting.
Yes.
This at least. How do you feel writing on these themes?
I feel this themes kind of covers up the theme of a family. These things are usually common in a family: sibling rivalry, parenting, and even responsibilities. So I'm glad it has covered these topics. I feel everybody and every family can relate to it.
Okay, so let's move into the book and see. Presented to The Boy Who Grew Backwards, and we have here. Whoa, let me show you.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have here the boy. Okay, let me do the honor of reading the first page. Yeah.
Thank you. So, it was an ordinary day in the city where Jimmy lived with his parents. Jimmy was going to be 6 years old in a few days, but he was not as excited as he should be. In fact, he did not want to grow older. Growing older meant more responsibilities and errands for him, and he did not want that. He wanted to get away with everything he did, just like his little brother, Johnny.
So let's talk about growing older. Yes, let's debate a little bit. Do you think growing older brings more responsibilities?
Yes, I certainly agree that it does. I mean, I'm the first child. I'm the first daughter, so I had more responsibilities than my sister. So as I grew older, I mean, it doubled, tripled. So growing older means more responsibilities and most likely more people for you to look after or to be a good role model to them.
Really, it's that's actually the answer. Growing older comes with lots of responsibilities.
It does.
So if you think you're growing older and you think there's little or less things to do, you lie into yourself.
Yes,
So as we say, yeah, Jimmy really wanted to be like Jomi.
Exactly, because Jomi is his younger brother. He's a baby. It doesn't have any responsibility other than going to sleep and waking up and eating. So he thought, well, can't I just be like that? Can't we switch roles or something?
But imagine, Jimmy is actually not that older, maybe like 5 or 6.
Exactly.
So there's actually not so much responsibility.
Yes, he doesn't know what the adult's responsibility life is right now, what we were going through, the adult world.
But at least at that age, he thought is much.
Exactly. I mean, I saw a video one time of a little girl.
Okay.
She said she was tired of her mom bossing her around, so she packed her bags and wanted to leave the house.
No, she should leave.
And then she walked a few miles and she came back to the house.
Came back
and
to
she
do what?
she asked for milk. So these kids, they don't know yet.
They don't know yet. And I think Jimmy in the book asked at least to be like Jomi, and his wish was it granted?
It was, in a way. There was a way it was revealed to him, and then he realized, oh my God, things are not as easy as they look.
Yeah.
Or as they seem.
So like, you want to wear my shoes?
Exactly. Well, you don't know what's hurting the person's shoes that you're envying. There's a way they say it in Yoruba.
Yeah.
I can't remember that.
English is fine.
Okay. But yes, it's even generally, if you're looking at someone and envying them, you don't know what they're actually going through.
That is another lesson.
Exactly. So it also applies to we adults too. Like, when you envy somebody, do you know what this person is going through? Do you know what the person had to do to get to this stage? Can you do it? So it just tells us, take a step back and just appreciate what you have, appreciate where you are.
You know, as you said now, that it also applies to adults. Like, don't envy. You don't know what the person is actually going through. You want to be like the person, and that makes me to remember. Like on social media, you want to follow this influencer, you want to follow that.
Social media is notorious for that.
You want to follow that influencer,
Yes.
but you really don't know what their packaging. It's called
Exactly.
packaging.
I mean, people pose in front of cars that are not theirs. They go to people's houses and take pictures and they say, hey, this is my house. But they don't have those houses. They don't even have half of it. And you have something manageable and you're not appreciating it because you think, oh, this person has something bigger.
So what you're saying in essence is that this book is not only for children.
It's not only for children. So I am a writer that I like putting hidden meanings to my works. I like putting deeper. I kind of just, I don't know how to explain it, but I just don't write the words just for you to look at on a surface level. They have deeper meanings to it.
Okay, so how did you come up with these characters?
Okay, so like I said in my bio, as it states that I was inspired by my two boys.
Yeah.
So I have two beautiful and handsome sons. So
Yeah.
I noticed the way there was this rivalry a little bit between them, just babyish rivalry, nothing serious, and how sometimes I have to consciously tell myself that I should be aware of the older sibling. He might be feeling a little bit jealous. So I had to just say, you know what, let me just write a book about this, telling people that these things actually really exist and you have to be conscious of siblings and the rivalries between them.
So, okay, let's move a little bit into the book. Now, Jimmy's wish was granted, and he found himself somewhere, and again, I want to looking at a place we can read at the. Okay, let's read this page 12.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow! Jimmy exclaimed. He saw different birds flying in the air, but they were not the usual birds he knew. They were monocolored and multicolored in red, blue, purple, green, pink, orange, and many more. The trees and the flowers were also in different colors and all sparkled.
And this is, I think, another word where Jimmy found himself. Now let's discuss sibling rivalry. How can parents undo that? How should parents undo that?
Okay, parents. First of all, parents should know that it's a must. It exists in every child. It's a normal human character. It's a normal when I've been the one in the picture and then somebody else comes along and he gets all the attention. So it's a normal human character. So they should first identify that this thing is there. And secondly, they should try to just be conscious of the other child's feelings. For example, if maybe you've been hugging your firstborn before and then the second child comes and you stop hugging the first one, you should just try to continue what you've been doing with the first one. So we won't feel that, oh, there's a form of neglection or something.
But you know, sometimes we can tend to forget. To
yes,
do that
I mean, they have to
new-
grow up to, you're no more a baby. Stop doing this, stop doing that. Yes, we have to also set standards. You know what? Stop doing this. You're now a big boy or a big girl. But also sometimes let's also be just conscious and just be sympathetic of their feelings. Because, I mean, we're all humans, so we can't help it.
Yeah. To be conscious, sensitive, and be sympathetic. Okay, so now, how often do you write? You are a visual artist and you're also writing. How do you combine both?
Okay, writing has always been my number one baby. I've been writing since maybe primary school.
Oh,
Yeah, so it started with when we had those literature novels to read in class, and I won't like the way the novels ended.
so you went
yes,
then.
so I would end it. I'll write a part 2 or something.
Okay.
It was a funny episode then. So I continued like that. And when I got to secondary school, I would take out maybe I have like 12 new exercise books. I'll take one out to write a story in. And then I'll fill up the whole exercise book most of the time and even get more. So what actually continued pushing me to write was my friends, my sister, they will tell me, "Oh my God, this is amazing. Continue writing this now, Coin." So I will continue and continue. And in fact, sometimes we even queue and say, "I'm next to your book, or I'm reading it next." Yes. So I got that a little bit of popularity as a girl who used to write in my school. So when I went to the next school too, I did the same thing, and people knew me as, oh, the writer. And then for a period, I had writer's block. So I did not write for like a while. I'm talking about years. I think that was when I was in uni. And then one day I met one of my friends and she was like, Koyin, I'm sure you must have published like 5 books. So I used to write. And it just made me reflect and look back like, wow, I need to actually continue doing this thing. I mean, I've slacked. So I got inspiration to continue writing. And while I got that inspiration, I also discovered I could paint.
Oh.
Yes. So.
Okay. But you actually did went for English literature.
Exactly. So all my life I've always been tuned to the world of art. In fact, I worked as a TV presenter for a while too, for like a year. So I've always been in tune on art, creativity, writing, and things like that. So that's always been my passion.
So now, writing fully and visual art.
Yes, visual art. I am not stopping that because I love it so much, and I say whatever brings you joy and happiness, I mean, you should continue doing it. So yeah, 2 of them actually in sync with each other.
Okay, so is this your first published book?
This is my first published book. I've written quite a number of books, but I don't think I finished all of them yet. But this one is the one, for some reason, this one spoke to me and said, "Oh, you must publish me." So I'm like,
I was going to ask now, why this one in particular?
I don't know. Maybe it's my intuition. Maybe it's just my mind telling me I should go for this. Because I didn't start out writing children's book. I used to write novels, teenagers books, and adult books, stuff like that. But while I was writing one of my novels, I just had this idea that, let me just write something on children's book. And then
inspired by your 2 kids? Inspired
by my 2 kids, yeah. So I think they gave me the motivation to just push this one and just set the novel aside. That one might come out later.
Okay. All right, so I love the title. It's actually catchy. Like, you will want to know, this is an adventurous book. You want to know, what is happening to the boy? So how did you come up with this?
So the title, I was a bit scared of the title because I felt some people might see it and say, "Ooh, the boy you grew backwards, okay. I don't want to go backwards, though." Or they might think it has like a negative connotation to it. So it was either that or the boy you shrunk. But I got a couple of advice, and then they told me this is actually a good title. I shouldn't let it draw me back. So
it's actually a good title because it gives you you want to ask questions.
Exactly. I wanted something that will keep people guessing.
Oh, let me go and read what happened.
Yes. I didn't want the conventional, the boy went to the market, boy went to the this. Nah, I wanted something different, something that would make people look twice. Okay, what's this?
Okay, so you said you've been writing since you think maybe 8 or 5?
Yes.
Okay, so has anything influenced your writing? Even when you stopped, when you had the writer's block, what influenced you coming back into writing?
Okay, my writer's block. Then after that, I think it was people. I think there's a way God sends people to me to just make me realize I'm actually really slacking and I'm not taking this writing thing serious. Like I mentioned earlier, the lady, one of my friends that said, Coin will have published like 5 books already. And then I had another encounter like that he asked me that I used to write a lot when you were in school. What happened? So all those things, they just motivated me and pushed me to continue writing again.
Apart from people, is there a book that has influenced you or an author that has also influenced you?
After my writer's block?
Yes.
Or over the years?
Over the years.
Okay, I used to read a lot of Nigerian literature books. Likes of Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Wole Soyinka, and all Nigerian. And then I started reading modern Nigerian books, like the author of Ogadisima, and then this other lady. Yes, and this other lady that wrote this book. So this book also inspired me. The title of the book is "My Sister is a Serial Killer."
Oh,
yes, exactly, Oyekan. So I saw that I read it, and I liked the fact that she didn't try to write in a conventional way. Her style was different.
Yeah.
So that also inspired me that I can write whatever I want to write as long as it has a good message.
As long as it has a
Good message,
So
yes.
if you can hear that, this is Konyesola Balogun Kuku, the author of The Boy Who Grew Backwards. I am being notified that the book is yet to be available.
Yes.
When will it be unveiled?
It will be unveiled on this Sunday, on the 30th of July.
Okay, so are we going to have what should we expect at the unveiling?
Okay. There will be an extensive look into the book, and there will be a panel with amazing speakers shedding more light on the topics, on the subject matters of the book. And it's going to be a wonderful event. There'll be a lot of arty things going on.
Okay, when you say artistic things going
Yes,
on,
it's
like
be at a gallery. So, okay, let me stop speaking in parables. So the book launch is happening at the gallery, and because I'm an artist, so I feel it's going to be beautiful, the ambience, and
yeah, it is going to be. So I love the book because it is actually well illustrated for children. Are you looking for books for your children this holiday, this summer? You want to get them busy. This is a book they will love to read, and they will actually ask questions. Like they want to read the next page, they want the next page, and it's actually a good bedtime story.
yes, it is. Yes,
It is a good bedtime stories, and at the end of it, we have big words and their meanings. I love this part because it gives the children a sense of knowing what the words is actually. Okay, if you find a word like excited, responsibility,
Yes.
what does it mean? So instead of you as a parent trying to crack your head and okay,
Trying to
how can
explain.
now bring this down to there? So you just go to the back of the book and tell them the meaning of the word. So you said this is parents can read this, children can read this. So who are your audience? Children of what age?
The children from age, I would say even babies. I mean, it's good to start reading to your kids as early as possible. But the age range is like from children from age 3 to 8 or something.
10.
Or to 10, yes. I mean, honestly, the book it's probably supposed to even be for all ages because there's so many things anybody can just pick up and learn from it.
Yeah. And then while going through the book, I love the parts where Jimmy was trying to. I think it was given a thing, something to
The
say. Potion to
Oh,
say.
yes.
And he went, I think, lower, not taller now. Again, backwards.
It was shrinking,
It was
exactly.
shrinking, and it got to a part that he started crawling.
Yes.
And, it got
And
to
that was
a
when he
part-
started having doubts. Am I sure I want to do
And
this?
it got to a part he couldn't even crawl.
Yes,
Not like
yes.
going back. I was thinking, will he go back to to being like a fetus or something?
Yes.
But this is actually very creative. Thinking about this. How long did it take you to write this?
It actually took me maybe 3 days.
Seriously?
Yes, it took me 3 days. But then the other thing is, after the 3 days, it now took me months for me to decide that I wanted to publish it. I wrote it and I just kept it somewhere.
3 days. That means
Yes.
you must have been a very good writer.
Yes.
Because
I mean, if I want to
children's
write.
book is actually a difficult
Mm,
content to write. It's actually a difficult process because you want to be as simple as possible.
yes, that's why I came up with the big words and their meanings. In case I put, because like I said, I switched from writing adult novels
Yes,
to
to
children,
children.
so I had to. But yeah, I think I was a little bit fast. But I don't feel. I mean, I've written novels, so this is like.
So the illustrations, let's talk about the illustration. The illustrations are actually catchy and they are actually fascinating, very, very beautiful to the eye that children will want to, relatable, like, okay, this is a baby. And how did you get this illustrated?
So there's this illustrator. Her name is Tiolu.
Yes,
Layomi.
Yoloye.
Yes. So when she saw my book, I was thinking, wow, I'm going to have to explain the expression to her, what I want, this and that. But when she gave me an example of the illustration, I was blown away. She brought out my words. She brought my words to life. I didn't need to have to explain or correct anything. So I feel the illustrator just did a very good work bringing out my words to life, my descriptions.
And sometimes working with illustrators can really be draining because you explain what you want.
Yes, I
you
did not.
explain.
Oh my god! In fact, now I don't think I want to use any other illustrator again because I don't. Like, this is my first experience using one, and it was beautiful.
So we want to say thank you to Yoloye for bringing
Thank
out her
you.
thoughts, really bringing out what she was. And actually, because the book is an adventure book, and if you're reading it, I think the images will flow.
Yes, I try to be as descriptive as possible. So,
Okay.
and also helps for when children read descriptive books like this, it also helps to open up their imaginative side and to imagine things and use their head to just picture how things will look like.
Now
Yeah.
let's talk about growing up. For
Okay.
you said you're the first female.
Yes.
Has there been any sibling rivalry you would like to correct now that you have your own children?
Okay, I think so it was just me and my sister at first, my younger sister. And there was quite a number of rivalry. Like, I felt she used
It's
to
normal.
exactly. I felt she used to copy me. So, and I didn't like that. I would do something and she would do the same and I'll be like, why are you copying me? So
You're the first now.
exactly, but I didn't see it that way. I just thought, why are you copying me? I felt like I was in a competition with her, but I didn't know she was just looking up to me and just seeing me as a role model. So I think siblings should not look at it from that aspect. They should just see it as this person is actually looking up to you and the person just is learning from you. So you have to sit tight.
Okay. Thank you so much, Konyosola, and we hope to have more books from you.
Yes, please.
So now this is a book household. Is going to be an household name now. The boy will grew backward, and we want to see this with everyone. If you're a parent, you can pick this up at the bookstore very soon after Sunday. You can pick this up, and if you would like to also attend, you can send me a message. We have it's a private lunch, but we can still give out maybe 2. Am I right?
2 is fine. Right?
Yes, maybe 2 invitations if you would like to attend and get a copy. It is 5,000 naira. It's going to be going for. Am I?
Well, let's leave it for 5,000 naira.
For now.
I mean, we're nice, yes.
We are nice.
For now, yeah.
Okay.
But the pre-order, you can quickly pre-order it for 3,500
naira.
before the book launch.
Okay, pre-order is 3,500, and on that day it will be 5,000. So you can still pre-order. Send a message if you would like to pre-order. So what have you learned about writing and publishing since you've started this book? The
Okay.
process.
Number one, I've learned when you start writing, you need to finish it because I have a lot of unfinished works and I don't even know where to start from. And another thing I've learned is you have to make sure your target audience understands your work. You have to make sure there's a message or there's something you're passing across. It's not just for aesthetic purpose or fun or anything. It has to be you passing a message and inspiring people. And I've also learned that you need to have a good publisher.
Okay.
Shout out to my publishing house, Purple Bloom.
Okay.
When you have a good publisher, they make you believe in your work. They make you push your work for you. I mean, not all publishers do that, but get a good publisher so they'll help you push your work better and give you more inspiration to write
So,
more.
thank you for at least mentioning Purple Bloom publishers. And how was the publishing process? Was it seamless? Was it? How would you advise other authors who are trying to look out for a publishing company?
Okay, so when I was looking for a publisher, I found my publishers online. I also saw them through somebody's reference. So it was just like all the fingers were pointing at my publisher, like this is the person I need to use. And so I contacted them and it was really easy working with them. In fact, they were the ones that were telling me let's do this next, let's do that next. You've not brought the manuscript, you've not done this. So it actually, because at a point I was already feeling a little bit pessimistic about the book, about publishing it, but the publishing process has been smooth. It has been a smooth journey.
Okay, so you've been wondering who is actually the publisher. It's actually Purple Bloom, and this segment is actually, the first segment is actually sponsored by Purple Bloom. That is the book of the month, actually published by, sponsored by Purple Bloom, and this book is published by Purple Bloom, and this is the children's collection. We have different collections written by children's author, and this is actually a new one, and will be unveiled on Sunday. So Konyosola will say thank you for trusting Purple Bloom, and thank you for at least deciding to write again and to give back something to read to the society, bringing back the reading culture. So now, can you advise, I know you've advised writers, work on your book. So can you advise writers also that are thinking, is my content good enough to go out there?
Yes, I would tell, okay, because I mean, I've been in this situation too where I wrote a number of books, but I kept it because I was not confident in myself. But the thing is, we are our own critic. We're our number one critic, our number one, So I feel if you feel you've written something and your gut tells you to publish this thing, just go for it. I mean, you can give a number of people to read and they can give you reviews about it. That would also encourage. But don't just write and just keep it to yourself and say it's not good enough. Let people, like my sister was always one encouraging me, and my friends and even my mom saying, oh, this is good. But if I didn't give them to read, I would not know. So let people read your works. Let them give you constructive criticism and then work on it and accept it. Exactly. Work on it and then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. It has been a very interesting and fun talking to Konyosola. I really feel like reading this book because it seems like okay.
You don't want to stop.
I don't want to stop, really. And it's actually very catchy. I want to read it, but then I want people to get the book. I want them to know what it is all about. I don't want to just give them everything on it. So come for the book unveiling if you would like to, or you can get it at the nearest bookstore. Coming to bookstores very soon. Thank you, Konyosola. And where can we find your works? You're an artist.
Yeah, so I'm currently having a group exhibition at the Tunde Odunlade Art Gallery and Connections. It's at Bodija. So my works are there. I'm having an exhibition there. And
I know one of your works is here
yeah,
too.
so I incorporated one of my works in my book.
Yeah. What is the meaning of this?
This, I think I titled it something on shadows, endless shadows. And I usually use white and black as a contrast. So when in life there are things signifying darkness and sadness, the light always comes out to shine, to dominate, and it creates another beautiful pattern of colors.
I'm actually inquisitive. I want to know how you started this painting, where you learned to do this, because that is not your first degree. That is actually not. But then that will be a question for another time, not today.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Let me quickly read. There's a place I would like to read here before we go, and that is when Jimmy came back from all the adventure and so, and he said he opened his eyes and he was in a very familiar place. My room, he exclaimed, and jumped out of the bed. I can walk again. I am no more a baby. Just then, his mom came in and Jimmy ran to Olga. I am sorry about yesterday, mommy. I now know being a baby takes a lot of work. He grew backwards.
Yes.
I promise to be more responsible and to guide my brother into doing the right things, said Jimmy. His mom was quite surprised at the sudden outburst, but she kissed his forehead anyway and said, I am proud of you, Jimmy. We all are. Now, acknowledging parents acknowledging and appreciating their children is very, very important. Let that be your last word. How will you encourage parents?
Okay, parents should be aware that their children, they feel some sort of jealousy or neglect when there's another sibling in the picture. So I just feel parents should sometimes just show the other child, try to show equal affection. I know it's not easy. I know
Equal
it's,
affection.
yes, I know it's probably not possible, but just try to show equal affection to the other, to each of them. Just try to make things look like I don't have a favorite here, because they don't understand. They feel this is you like this person, you prefer this person. So just try to make them know that they are all loved. Take them out, buy things for them, give them the same things. So I think it helps.
Thank you, but that is actually not where I'm going. What
Okay.
I'm trying to ask is, how should we appreciate our children, not when they're fighting or something, or when they've done something
Wrong?
wrong?
Okay.
Yes. How should we accept them back? Should we accept by scolding, or we should just leave them alone, or just say no, don't do that, so appreciate them and still scold?
Yeah, so when they do something wrong, you have to be firm. Let them know what they did is bad. They might try to throw tantrums, but let them know, no, this is very bad. You tell them, explain to them that what they did is wrong. And then when they make the mistake again, then you have to take measures. You have to punish them. Let them know that there are consequences for whatever action you take. And when they're finally done serving the consequence or the punishment, then you can now call them to explain, and then just give them a hug and just let them know you love them, because at the end of the day, love rules, and you just have to let them know it's all love.
Okay, thank you for explaining much more better. Thank you so much. So it has been a great time talking to Koyin Sola, and this is a book. I'm recommending this book to everyone ages. No, we don't want to say ages again. We want to leave it. Let parents also read. You can learn, like what we said earlier, a lesson on copying or envy.
Yes.
Trying to be in another,
trying to be like someone else.
yes,
trying to
be authentic. So this is also for parents. So you can pick up a copy at the launch, or you pick up a copy at the store very soon. By at least from next week, you can pick up a copy. So thank you so for joining me. Join me next week Friday for another interesting episode. The first segment, I talk about what happened in the book industry, book world, and the second segment, I read the book of the month. And third segment, book of the week, whereby I interview authors. And don't forget, Writers Workshop is coming up on August 25th and 26th, organized by Purple Bloom Publishers. I think why they are organizing this is because since over the years they've noticed that authors lack some key elements in their writings, whereby when the manuscripts are being submitted, they feel like this should have been tackled before submitting the manuscript. So, but over the years they've seen this errors in the manuscript. So I think they are bringing together esteemed facilitators like Tade Kwadiola, Ayoyeku is a children's author, Ronkegiwa Nofuwa, Chima Ogoke, and to add a little element to it, editing. Sometimes we need to edit ourselves. After writing, some authors will just let it go to the publisher like that. And sometimes the publisher won't even understand what you are trying to say, you're trying to bring out from your content. So we have editors that will be coming to talk about editing and proofreading, and also I will be there to talk about the publishing processes and technicalities. So August 25th and 26th. 25th is for the workshop, 26th authors conference. So come and learn. It's just chickening money. Imagine 1,500 early bird, for students 3,000 early bird, working class 5,000 early bird, and 7,000 for the real fee. But early bird closes on August 5th. After that you can pay. I'm sure this is it's so cheap. It's just that we want the writers to be the best and to come up with bestsellers in the next years, 2024 and beyond. So join us, go and register. I will drop the link after this conversation so you can register also. And it will also be live. It is actually physical meeting training at the ISCD library beside booksellers, but we are providing online platform facility whereby you can join online. So thank you. Join me next week for another interesting episode, and thanks to Primus Radio for bringing this on every Friday. My name is Adejoke Oyekan. See you next week Friday. I'm calling you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
All right, bye.
Ibadan. Join Purple Bloom Publishers for a 2-day event that will ignite your creativity and empower you to conquer the world of writing. Theme: Inspiration Unleashed, unveiling the path to authorship. Join renowned expert who will unravel the secret behind captivating plot, unforgettable characters,